We have so much to choose from in terms of perks that unfortunately a lot of them are overlooked because of how powerful the meta is. And what I mean by the meta, I mean perks such as Self-Care, Dead Hard, Adrenaline, Decisive Strike as an example. And that means a lot of perks are never really used, and a lot of them are underappreciated or considered underrated. So today I'm going to be bringing you my top 5 underrated perks for survivors in Dead by Daylight. Please bear in mind that this is my opinion, so if I don't choose your perks in any way or that it's not on this list, then please do not leave any unnecessary hate, because at the end of the day, we all have our own play styles, and these are just my recommendations that you should try out. Now, just before I actually go into my top 5, I want to give an honourable mention to Kindred and Alert. Kindred has always been a really great perk, but only for people who play solo. So if you are in a survive with friends, then I can potentially see this perk being completely useless to you. However, if you do like to play solo like I do, then this perk always helps out the team because it tells you if the killer is camping or not. It also tells you what other survivors are doing, so it actually makes the whole team more efficient, essentially. So unfortunately, it wouldn't come into this list because of how situational, but if you are a solo, then it would definitely be a good choice to make. Alert is another perk that I found quite underrated, but just couldn't fit into my top 5, and that's just because as an experienced player, I don't necessarily need to know where the killer is. However, for maybe a newer player and to maybe rank 10s, I can see this perk being very good, and that is because knowing where the killer is on the map can give you a huge advantage, and it means that you don't have to stealth as much if you hear the terror radius, or you don't have to worry where the killer is because you will be able to see them eventually if they either break a pallet or kick a generator. So with the information that you get, you can use as you see fit. It's a nice all-round perk, and I would suggest using it if you are a sort of new player or trying to get into those purple ranks. Now that we've finished with the honorable mentions, let's get into number 5. So at number 5, I've chosen Stakeout. Now I can already hear all them rank ones telling me how pointless Stakeout is, and I agree with you. If you are able to hit great skill checks, then this perk is completely useless to you. But to the other 99% of players who can't hit great skill checks all the time, this is an amazing perk. And let me tell you why. When you actually get the tokens by being near the killer's terror radius, the tokens can be used to replace good skill checks with great skill checks. And that means it gives you a slight boost in generator progression, it could be healing, anything that has skill checks in it. Now, it doesn't actually sound that good, however, it does speed up the progression, and also, more importantly, it helps with Hex Ruin. This means if you already have your tokens and you do a generator with Hex Ruin on, you can have 4 free great skill checks even if you don't even hit it, which makes this a really good counter against Hex Ruin. This is great if you're like me and wait for other survivors to find Hex Ruin, because I can usually hit my great skill checks. So along with this perk, it just guarantees me to get the generator quicker while Hex Ruin is still up. And I left it at number 5 because it is quite situational and it all depends on your playstyle. At number 4 we have Resilience. So I was actually going to put Alert at number 4. However, I saw that Resilience, in my opinion, is a lot more effective than Alert is. Resilience is a very good perk if you can survive while being injured. This perk only activates while you're injured, but it enables you a 9% speed bonus on pretty much everything you do. That includes healing, doing generators, opening doors, and more importantly, it gives you a 9% vaulting speed. Now, a lot of you will tell me that a 9% vaulting speed isn't much of a difference. And yes, I would agree, because I did the test myself and it was only by a few frames of a difference. And that's where a lot of people forget that this game is primarily based around time. If you can time something perfectly, then it goes in your favor hugely, and sometimes it can be the matter of you surviving or you dying. Using that 9% speed boost in something or vaulting makes this perk really powerful. At my rank, between rank 4 to 5, I've learnt not to use self-care that much. So resilience has become very strong for me and pretty much a must-have in one of my builds. If you are a newer player, then I can understand not taking this perk, and I feel like alert might be a lot better for you. However, if you are an experienced player, you should definitely try this out. At number 3, we have Life. Life has always been in a very awkward situation, and that's because of the other exhaustion perks that we have available. In my opinion, I think that Dead Hard and Balanced Landing are the top ones, and the bottom one is Sprint Burst. However, Life is kind of in the middle between Balanced Landing and Sprint Burst. Life wasn't very good prior an update where it would only activate while you were in a chase. This has been changed so that you can use it anytime you want. And what makes this perk at number 3 is because of a build that I'm pretty sure many of you have heard, which involves Quick and Quiet and Dance With Me. With a mixture of these two perks with Life, makes it so you can pretty much escape from any situation, from any chase. You'll be incredibly unlucky if a killer can actually find you again, because it leaves no scratch marks and you're moving at 150%. That's why I put this at number 3. It is a great perk to use, and it's a lot more available compared to Balanced Landing, which is debatable, just because there's always going to be windows and there's always going to be pallets. At number 2, we have Spine Chill. What this does is basically gives you a 6% speed bonus on doing anything when the killer is looking at your direction within 36 meters. This doesn't have to be direct contacts, this can literally just be if the killer is looking at that direction. So this could be set off quite a lot. And this also works if you know the killer has barbecue and chili. What this does is essentially provides you information if a killer is coming near you. It also provides increase in generator speed, healing speed, opening the exit gates, and for a lot of you, you probably didn't know this, is it also increases your vault speed. Now, it doesn't actually say on the perk that it gives you vault speed, but I looked at the wiki and done a test myself, and it does give you a very slight increase in vaulting speed. So overall, this perk is like a nice jack of all trades, where it's good at everything. It's just not really effective at one particular thing. But you should definitely try out this perk. You might find that it helps you out if you like playing stealthy. It might help you out if you like doing your gens. It is definitely an underrated perk. Lastly, at number 1, we have Iron Will. Now, the more experienced players, I'm pretty sure a lot of you will say that Iron Will isn't underrated, but I'm looking at the people who are in the purple ranks and anyone that is around rank 10 and going into the more competitive side of Dead by Daylight. Killers rely on sound a lot at red ranks, especially certain killers such as the Spirit, who uses sound to find out where survivors are, especially injured ones, because you create so much noise when you're injured. And what Iron Will does, it just completely negates it, so you are completely silent when you are injured. This makes it a lot easier to juke the killer. It also makes it a lot easier for you to escape, and mostly it is effective against the Spirit. And I keep bringing up the Spirit because she is, in my opinion, one of the top tier killers that red ranks use, because she provides a lot of unpredictability and mind games, and when she's phasing, she can't see where you are, so the player is relying more on the sound. So if you've got Iron Will, it completely negates it, and therefore she's going to be quite confused and would have to try and follow the scratch marks. If you are a more of a beginner level, I can kind of see this perk being somewhat useless, but I think at all ranks that this perk just gets better and better the more competitive that you get. So that is my top 5 underrated perks in Dead by Daylight. I really hope that you try out these perks, definitely put it into different builds, give it a go, and if it doesn't suit your playstyle, then at least you've had a go with it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate all of you who subscribed recently. I've seen a sudden increase in subscribers, and honestly, it's incredible, really incredible. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.